Episode 3 of We Were the Lucky Ones begins with Jennick's arrests. Herta interrupts and asks to go along as she won't be any safer without Jennick. Meanwhile, Addy is successfully on the ship to Brazil. He showcases his musical skills, playing the piano for the first-class ticket holders on the ship. His eyes glances over to a beautiful woman and meets Elizabeth, or Elise, and her mother, affluent refugees from Prague. Elise and Addy are instantly enamored with each other. Later at night, Elise spends time with Addy, and while they overlook the morning sky, they notice that the ship is taking a detour in the opposite direction. Elsewhere, Jennick and Herta are huddled along with other Jews and prisoners in a filthy train carriage for 3 weeks before they are taken to a Siberian prison camp. They are to work there in exchange for food. In Lvov, Helena is working as a lab assistant with a Soviet professor. She steals valuable things, this time an egg and lactic acid, which can be bartered for fake IDs by Adam. However, she's scolded for jeopardizing her prestigious job at the Research Institute, which is of considerable value to the underground, people working for the Polish cause. Meanwhile, Addy and Elise's ship is stranded in Dakar, Senegal, a French colony and also anti-Jewish for around a month. Addy and Elise are allowed to leave the ship, but the others are shut inside. Addy confronts the captain about the conditions in steerage, but there's nothing that he can do. Moreover, the ship is to reach Casablanca in Morocco, another anti-Semitic French colony. Elise goes over to Addy and realizes they are not going to Brazil, and the two spend the night together. Jennick and Herta are doing hard labor at the Soviet prison. One of their associates catches gangrene and Jennick has to cut his finger off. He struggles through the night while Jennick and Herta discuss who will help with their baby's delivery, now that the only pharmacist has one less finger. The next morning, they find the pharmacist dead. Jennick is shaken by this and approaches the Soviet commander. He tries to reason with them about laws regarding medical aid, but the commander denies his request. Further, he is punished for missing his work with a 30% reduction in weekly ration. At the same time, Herta delivers the baby safely. Back in Lvov, Helena has formed a rapport with the doctor. They talk about their families and Helena confides to him about Jennick's disappearance. Back at the ship, the travelers are given a 70% reimbursement and told to get off the ship at Casablanca. Addy is separated from Elise. While working and stealing at the same time, Helena is taken by the Soviets on the doctor's watch. The episode review. Nowhere is safe, the war is everywhere, says Addy. And it is true, the war is everywhere, especially for the Jews. They are homeless people in the show, persecuted wherever they go. Drifting from one land of hatred to another, amidst a hollow war that consumes everyone in its wrath. Meanwhile, Jennick's character seems to be undergoing a change. He, who was mostly nonchalant, has become responsible and desperate. He reminisces about his parents, now that a huge responsibility of a child looms heavy over his shoulders. Helena might have gotten herself in trouble, but it seems unlikely. The doctor seems to be considerate of her, often commenting that she reminds him of his daughter. The show is still as interesting and engaging as it was, although I did find Addy and Elise a bit on the blander side, comparatively, but we'll have to see how that goes, now that the two have been separated.